I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing.
Hello there, lollygaggers. Another week on tap here. Lollygagging Sports. I am Bo Reed along with Samantha Bunton and Matthew Irby. Feel like a gangster's paradise kind of a week this week. Samantha, what do you think?
Isn't it always?
Yes.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Coolio. R.I.P. What a shame.
Oh, what a shame indeed. I don't know. It feels kind of fitting. The NFL is coming. So. No? Nobody? Okay. All right, fine. Irby, how about you? How you doing?
I'm fine. Tired, real life, work, family, all those things getting in the way of sports. So, just tired from trying to balance all that. It's very important, I know, but I just want to watch baseball.
Well, we got baseball on. At least I do. So, we got that going for us. So, well, Samantha, as I mentioned, the NFL is making its return. As a matter of fact, we're taping this Wednesday night, so we're less than 24 hours away from the kickoff of this season. So we're going to be talking a little football for the next handful of months, along with baseball. So don't worry out there, baseball fans. We're not going to abandon baseball. Usually it's the other way around. So how about you kick us off, Samantha? What do you have this week?
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We will cling to the baseball until there's literally nothing left. But we'll get back to that in a minute. We're going to start with some NFL. I thought we should kick it off with just some rapid fire NFL questions. I got 10 of these for you guys. You're not allowed to explain yourself. 1 word, 2 words, whatever you got to do to get the answer in. But I'm just interested in your first thought on each of these.
Oh.
So, and then at the end, I will give you your opportunity to defend one of your 10 answers. You may circle back to one thing.
Do I have to bleep out curse words? Because I don't know what these questions are, but that might be the first thing that comes to my mind.
I don't know that any of these will inspire a curse word, but if they do, you got to stick to the PG-13 ones, right? You got to stick to the semi-curse words, the partial curse words.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
So we can't say White Sox.
Is it lowercase or uppercase?
Lowercase.
You can say that.
I knew he was going to get that in. I knew it. I was not trying to set him up for that, Samantha, but I knew at some point he was going to get that in this week. It's going to happen. Very well done. Nice and smooth.
The new curse word.
All right. I'm ready to go, Samantha. What do you got?
Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll start with the easy stuff, depending how you look at it. All right, who's your MVP for this season? Who do you think it's going to be?
MVP for the season.
No thinking, no talking, just answer. You got to give the first answer. Put it out there.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Christian McCaffrey.
All right, we have Zeke, we have McCaffrey, and I'm going to give you a Josh Allen. All right.
Which one?
The one that drew the Bills' potato. Okay, the team with the best regular season record.
Detroit. Whoa.
Baltimore. Also, whoa.
I also have Detroit.
Wow.
Okay. Good. Worst regular season record.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. That's amazing. I think I'm going to go with Vegas. Okay, who's your surprise playoff team?
Texans. Wait, they made the playoffs last year.
Is that really a surprise?
Yeah, you can't count. No, violation. Do over.
Yeah. Chargers.
Whoa. Okay. Irby.
Dude. Dolphins?
No.
I gotta go crazier. What about how about the Falcons?
Ooh.
Atlanta, that's mine too. I actually think they're probably gonna win that division. But okay, first MetLife turf victim.
Aaron Rodgers.
Damn it, he beat me to it.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll make that a three-way then. Okay. Who are you most excited to watch who is not on your own team? Nate, give me one player. Give me a player you're excited to
John
see.
Robinson, with an actual coach now, who actually would look at him and be like, "Oh, you're talented. We should give you the ball."
Irby, no explaining.
Okay.
Bo?
Drake May. We'll get to that a little bit later on too.
Drake May. All right, I'm just gonna go with the timeless Kirk Cousins. All right, who's winning the Super Bowl?
Kansas City.
Let's go Detroit.
Ooh.
Irby, I hope you're right. I also have Kansas City. All right, first coach fired.
Mike McCarthy.
Thank you. I was blanking on his name for some reason. Yes, Mike McCarthy.
I don't believe that for a second, but I'm trying to will it to happen, so let's make it 3. All right. Who's got the worst uniforms in the NFL?
Oh.
Worst?
What's in the NFL?
Whenever the Bears do their throwbacks, I can't stand those things.
Bears throwbacks? Is that what you're voting for? Okay.
Why are the Chargers the only thing in my head? What have they done wrong?
Just the Chargers in general?
Yeah.
I'll accept that. All right. Chargers, no notes. I'm going to go with the Steelers B uniforms, also a throwback. And finally, who has the best mascot?
Can't say the Colorado Rockies, so
You could.
Indianapolis Colts.
I don't really know the mascots well enough.
I don't care. Pick one.
All right, fine. You know what? I'm going to be hating on the Cowboys all year long, so I'm going to go with Rowdy.
Okay, unfortunately for you, Bo, this one does have a correct answer, and the correct answer is Blue from the Indianapolis Colts because he blows party horns out his nose. So I'm sorry, you've got an
He also does those
wrong.
games where he tackles the little kids.
Yeah, that thing's awesome. We'll use this one as my explanation one. Blue is a perfect mascot. He has party horns in his nose. He assails children safely but hilariously. Anyway, I'm sorry to tell you that this opinion question has a correct answer, but it does. So
I don't know enough about.
So there's that.
That's my.
All right.
You know what the thing
Does
too
any-
about Blue? Blue's been
anyone-
around long enough that he successfully did not tackle a young Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, wait a minute. Who was it that did that? This involves
Wasn't it-
baseball, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a baseball player. Was it Adley Rushman? I think it was Adley Rushman, wasn't it?
Was that? Yeah.
I think it was Adley Rushman. Yeah.
Rushman. Oh, yeah. No, that was the one that hit. No, Christian McCaffrey, when he was a little kid, was doing one of those games on the field. And actually, there's a decent video where he does a reverse and Blue can't catch him. But yes, you were correct that Adley Rushman in college did lay out McCaffrey.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, I didn't even know about the Blue thing. That's very interesting. Okay. Well, good for Christian McCaffrey, I guess.
He can outrun Blue, but he can't outrun the Orioles catcher.
Well, Blue is awesome. All right, this is your opportunity. Would you like to explain any of your answers? You get one.
I think I used mine on my Bijan.
You may elaborate further if you'd like to. Or you may consider that a freebie. Before you were cut off.
I will. I will elaborate on my Cowboys having the worst record. Do I actually think they have the worst record in football? No. But this is a warning shot that I will probably be treating them worse this year than Stephen A. Smith does. And this is really because of Jerry Jones and his all-in nonsense. But just FYI, that's coming. For everyone.
Fair.
Yeah.
Hey, with a bad enough record, you could draft Quinn Ewers to take over for Dak.
Well, it's certainly better than Trey Lance.
This is true. Yes, I will double down on the Bijan. I mean, Longhorn, big Bijan fan. I think he can do wonderful things in this league. So it was absolutely painful last year to watch Arthur Smith just basically act like he was not on the roster. So yes, excited what he can do. Let the man eat.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. He was in a milk carton situation for reasons that were never explained a year ago. So yeah, should be cool. Should be cool. All right. Any other thoughts on this before we move on? Anybody have another rapid fire question they want to throw out there, or shall we move on to baseball for the moment?
What top team do you think is going to implode this season? Team should do well.
I mean, part of me wants to say Kansas City, even though I also said they would win the Super Bowl just because it would be funny. I'm going to go with it. I'll get something right if I need that. Maybe.
All the love they're getting, it's going to be a bad year for those Packers. It's not going to go how they go.
Yeah. Feels a little overhyped. Also the Jets, but what is implosion really if you're the Jets? So,
well, I think for the Jets it would be even like a fraction of a percentage of hope, and it gets dashed. Kind of like last year, they had this sliver of hope, and then Aaron Rodgers ruptures his Achilles in the first game. Like, that's so Jets. They get a sliver of hope, and it's taken from them like the last piece of candy out of their hands.
I do love that nobody even considered a Giants player for the turf question. It was just like, no, but it's going to be the Jets.
It's going to be the Jets.
And it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. All right, well.
Have you looked at the Giants roster? That's enough punishment.
The Giants are hoping it's Daniel Jones.
You don't think Daniel Jones is going to share it? And they'll be like, is there an injury clause? Can we get out of this contract?
You think they do that the first game there and warm up? Whoa, man, your leg. I think you just blew out your leg. I'm fine. I'm stretching. Nope, he's done.
Oh, man. Yeah, and then that kid, they'd have to get the kid out there with the one with the crazy agent, Stellato or whatever his name is. The one who very proudly announced that his parents cook all his food and do all his laundry, like he never wants to go on a date again. What's his name? DeVito.
I could so see the Jets greasing the doctor on Rodgers' MRI. No, I need you to find something. There's nothing there. I don't care. Find it. Oh, yeah. Okay, here.
I don't think the Jets want to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. I would like to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think that the Jets want that. I could, however, as you said, see the Giants doing that with Daniel Jones. That feels very possible. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little baseball. So, all right. So Aaron Judge, noted power hitter, Aaron Judge. He has got 51 home runs coming into this particular recording, and 23 games left. So I don't think the major league record is realistically within reach at this point. However, is the American League record, which he also owns, by the way, in reach? Maybe. I think it's very possible. I'm not even saying it couldn't happen. I mean, technically he could break the major league record still, but lots of things could happen, right? Like Aaron Judge and I could someday end up hosting a podcast together called Talkin' Dachshunds, where we talk about our miniature dachshunds and possibly also baseball. It could happen, right? But it's probably not gonna. Just like he's probably not gonna break the major league record. But he does have a shot at topping his own American League record. But I don't know. What do you guys think? 23 games. What do you think?
His own record, sure. I mean, I agree with you. I think the Major League record is just a little out of reach. But certainly, I mean, I was looking to see what the Yankees schedule looks like. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to have some pretty high leverage games. But if they've got enough clunkers, then, absolutely he's going to get... I don't know. He's at 51. What did he set the American League record at? Was it 62? It was the last game of the season? Is that right?
Did he get an extra one?
I can't remember if he did or not.
I think it's only 62.
Right. So, okay, so then he needs... You say he's at 51?
Yeah, so he needs 11.
Yeah, I mean... Possible, but I don't know, we're getting into the stretch If they're facing contending teams, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get the pitches.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about too. And I'm also wondering about, like, well, if they pull away in the division, are they going to start benching people? So I don't know that you're necessarily sending him out there unless he's very, very close. If you get close to the end of the season and you've wrapped up, which they probably won't, right? You're probably at least going to have somebody chasing you for home field for the number 1 seed. So that probably keeps him out there. But just something to consider. I don't know. Irby, what do you think? I cannot believe you both just let talking dachshunds go by. I'm not inviting either one of you to be a guest on my podcast. Aaron Judger and I are going to talk about dachshunds without you. How dare you?
Well, okay, to be fair, I was the one that let it pass, but Irby was just now getting his shot, so...
Well,
yeah, I was totally going to talk about it. Yes, yes. It was going to reference that and not the fact that he hasn't hit a home run since being on Paw Patrol.
Is that true? It's really funny.
So
what is it with these?
I feel bad about that.
What is it with these weird mascots and guest appearances on shows that are cursing or blessing players and teams? It's been a weird year with this.
You would think Paw Patrol would be good luck.
You would think.
I would have thought so too. Like that was,
or at least neutral. Shocked. Like
maybe it's a delayed reaction, but yes, I know. Yeah, to answer y'all's other one, 62 is the number from 2 seasons ago, the 2022 season. He finished at 62. So yeah, because of Bo answering your question, what you were saying. So yes, they actually, the Yankees actually have contenders basically across the board the rest of the season. They are playing teams that are all like the only team that they have left that isn't vying for a playoff spot is Oakland. So maybe get some luck there. So yeah, they're going to be in the battle. And because of that, he may not see a lot of pitches, and that might be the difference. But the good thing about Judge is it doesn't take much for him to put 3 or 4 in a couple days together. So I'm going to say he does it, just because when this guy gets hot, he really can go on some runs that'll take care of it. And it's 12 home runs over the last 7. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Gets it done. Okay,
yeah, no, I think you're kind of in the same spot that I am about this, especially because he tends to clump them together, and I think anybody who can do that and can put together like 3 home runs in 2 days pretty consistently like that makes me think yes. Also, you've got enough home games left with your little midget porch over there in right field at Yankee Stadium, which will also help. So, yeah, I think it's possible. Who knows? He's going to break the record. We're going to do talking dachshunds someday. Gus is going to be happy. Bobby Bonilla is going to be happy. I don't know the name of his other dachshund, but I'm sure we'll learn more about that when he and I start our podcast. So, okay. So back to football, sort of different kind of football. I was just thinking about this because school just started. I know you guys, where you are, the kids have been in school for a while. My kids just went back this week. And my kids are a little bit too little to appreciate this, but, I always think I have this like very like nostalgic, like almost over romanticized sort of memory of like the high school football experience. Not playing high school football. I obviously did not play football. But just going to high school football games, you start when you're a little kid. Like, I don't know, I could tell you weird stories about my dad having us crawl through a hole in the tennis court to sneak into football games. Unclear why he was doing this. It was like $2 for a ticket. I think it was the principle of the thing because he thought it was funny. Sneaking into high school football games. I don't know. This is my first memory of high school football, by the way. It's my dad being like, crawl through that hole and you'll be right on the track at the game. And no one ever did anything about this. And we did it every week. But who knows? That's how Dale entertained himself. But I was also big into the high school dance team at that point, did those batons that were on fire. I'm sure you can't do this anymore. Like somebody would drop one in their hair and the school would get sued and all that. But they used to do those fire batons. It was very, very cool. So all of this sort of like fanfare and, I am like very big into tradition, especially as it connects to school things. So I kind of love all of this sort of vibes of high school football, like going all the way up to when you're in high school, and it's a little like the weather is perfect. You put on your letter jacket, you go to the game. It doesn't really matter if the team is good or not. The point is the experience of it. So I'm curious what you guys think about this. I will preface this, however, by saying that I forbid either of you to go off on some kind of weird rant about how it's different in Texas, because it's not. So I'm not allowing that. But if you have any other thoughts on this, and if you have similar sort of nostalgic feelings for the high school football experience, or if your father made you crawl through a hole because he thought it was funnier than paying for a ticket, please, by all means, share.
Well, I will say this, like, for me, there is nothing like Friday night in a small town, right? Mm-hmm. You know, because the entire town goes to the game.
Yeah, right.
And you get and especially like when you get those that have like, they actually have a downtown with shops that are locally owned, the small business owners, right? They shut down for the game, right? They shut down early on Friday, and everyone, like, the town almost walks together to the stadium to watch the game. That for me is unbeatable in any sport, period, in America. Like that is that small town Friday night lights. The one you see romanticized in movies and television shows is absolutely spot. That is, there's nothing like it. I unfortunately don't live in a town that small. At least I don't think. For Friday nights, I mean, it's small, but it's not that small. I'm talking small town Friday night football, where there really isn't a parking lot because everyone walked. The only thing in the parking lot is the buses, right? Nothing beats that. But I will say this. Beyond that, I don't get as up for it if I'm in, say, a large city that has 12 high schools. I don't really get up for it in that setting. Like, it has to be that small town feel. You know what I mean? Because like it just doesn't feel the same if it's in one of these larger cities. It's just I don't know how to describe it. It's just not it's not the same feel. I don't get the same. It's not the same like feelings that I get.
No, I think you described it perfectly.
You know,
I actually really love that description of it.
So, but that being said, I mean, we are the high school in our town's right down the street. There's potential for the wife and I to walk over, watch a little football. So I'm looking forward to that. Though fall is here, that means Friday night lights are here. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm at on it. Irby, how about you?
No, I love your explanation there. That's right. Some of these major cities that have got, like you said, 14 different high schools. Looking at you, Crisco, but it's not the same. It's definitely not. It's too divided. I think through the fun memories I've had of being a younger kid and more. I think I enjoyed it more as I was getting older. In the 20s, my dad and I would do that where we would just look at, okay, who's playing what? Ooh, let's go to where are they playing? They're playing at this state. Let's just go there. Let's go to that game, and just go to a random game like that. And that led us to fun things. Like we actually did once. We drove good two and a half hours to go to a 6-man game. Mm-hmm. And it was two of the top 3 teams in the state playing. It's like, hey, if we're ever going to watch a 6-man game, let's watch 2 of the best. And it was a fantastic game. It was the weirdest thing ever. Both teams scoring in the 80s, but it was fantastic. And it was, so yeah, for me, it would be that of those types of memories.
How is there enough time on the clock for both teams to score in the 80s? Wow.
Sounds horrible. It sounds like arena football.
It is. It's not a full field. It's close to. It's a smaller field, but it's just 6-on-6.
Still,
like it's if you've got a couple of good athletes, that's all you need. It's closer to basketball in that way, and yeah, you can put points on the board real quick, and you will see. It was interesting to watch guys that wouldn't realize it's like, no, I'm not going to make that tackle, so I'm going to save my energy because we're about to be back on offense because there's only 8 of us on the team, so we don't really get a lot of breaks. 6-man, pure chaos.
Okay, I think I'm gonna pass on that part, but that is interesting. It's interesting to me that exists. But Bo, I love the way you described this. It's very cinematic, I guess. I don't know. As an actor, if you want a cinematic description of something, I guess. So thank you for that, because that's kind of exactly what I was sort of trying to capture with this. I think for me, it's what you are describing, like the picture you're painting, is exactly how I think of it. And I'm with you. I didn't go to I didn't live in a small town, but sometimes it almost feels like that, or it's kind of the closest you come to that feel. Because, yeah, I mean, we were not in a place where everyone could walk there and all the shops closed down, but I would have loved it if we were. I just think that's fantastic. And especially as somebody who kind of worships at the altar of tradition, particularly as it connects to sports and academics, and so much the better, where the two meet in between. Again, college football too kind of strikes this note really well for me also, even though it's a bigger venue and it's a lot more impersonal, and it does lack that sort of small town charm. But if you went to school in a college town like I did, you get a little bit of that in college football too. I mean, like State College, nothing shuts down because it's a football weekend. If anything, it's more crowded, but the whole town is, of course, reacting to and responding to the football game more than anything else. Everybody's watching that game. So I think it kind of fits in that way. But yeah, good fall tradition there. I feel bad, we live in New York City. They don't have football here, obviously, because where would they play it? So it bums me out a little bit that my kids will get to have that experience. We are moving, but we are moving to another place that also doesn't have a lot of football. So that's too bad, and I hate for them to miss out on it, because I think that's kind of a neat part of sort of growing up and the sort of early sports experience.
Yeah. Friday Night Lights, it's back. Yeah, if nothing else, commute to the closest small town and just watch. I encourage everyone to do that. Everyone.
Yeah, no, I think I could get on board with that. Yeah, it's where is the closest place that feels like this?
Especially if you can get a high vantage point and just watch people file in from everywhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
That was the stuff I enjoyed that, and I'm thinking back to my high school where, on home games, we didn't leave school, because you had a good 4 hours between school getting out and game. We didn't leave, and it was just kind of watching how the parking lot, and then certain things would slowly open, and then you'd see that just how everything slowly grows, and just watching that beast slowly grow and more and more and more, and suddenly there's 5,000, 6,000 people here. Where'd they all come from?
I forgot about the creative parking aspect of it, about how a high school, I have terrible memories of this, of having to park at a shopping center across the street that was quite a hike from there, because the high school parking lot, which was quite large and was more than enough for a normal day, just filling to capacity and over capacity, and people parking on tree lawns and whatnot to get into a high school football game. I'd forgotten about that part. That's not the fun part. I think I blocked that out of my nostalgic,
See, that would be better. I went the exact opposite, and now anytime we have anything, it's not even football. It'll be our swim meets. I will get on Google Maps, and I'll be looking at where we're going. I'll look at the parking lot and be counting, no, we got to get there an hour and a half early. But there's definitely not enough parking spots here.
But you are more organized than me in this capacity. I am a chaotic person in that way. I wish I had the discipline to do that. But my problem is that my solution to most parking issues is that I will park at the furthest possible point and walk, because I don't care if I have to walk. I park at the back of the mall parking lot because I hate searching for parking spaces. So I will just park at the furthest point so that A, no one hits my car with their door, and B, I don't have to do the tedious crawl and look for taillights to see who's leaving, because that makes me insane. I'd rather just walk. But there does come a point where you literally cannot walk because there's nowhere to park that's anywhere nearby. I can't even imagine I've never seen that TV show, by the way, Friday Night Lights. I've never watched it, but I understand the vibes. I think everyone understands the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
But I have not seen it.
All right. Anything else on this one before we get over to Irby? All good?
No. I'm thinking about baton twirlers now, and how it makes me sad that no one throws batons anymore.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they seemed like adults to me because I was 4, but they were letting 15-year-old girls twirl batons that were on fire.
Fantastic. And I could see the
Man, do I
too.
miss I miss the last century.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the last century so much. We were so much more willing to put ourselves in great danger for the sake of entertainment. Oh, so
I
disappointing.
can see people asking now. Well, but what if they got caught on fire? Well, what they did is they didn't. That's simple. They just didn't touch the fire. Crazy.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to play lawn darts in a dry field surrounded by these twirlers with the flaming batons. Like that's. Just,
I would go to that. I will come to that. If you host that, I will come.
And drinking out of the garden hose because kids, we used to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No filter.
Just live right on the edge. Right?
It was the original no filter right there.
Yeah.
Do all of that until the dark and the porch light comes on, then it's time for supper.
Yeah. Once that porch light comes on, it is time. All right, let's move it on to Irby. What do you have for us this week?
All right. Well, I'll stick with the football and one that is kind of a weird, odd situation going on. The entire Marvin Harrison Jr. charade that's been going on since really last May with his time at Ohio State. Him and his dad, so Fanatics has refiled the lawsuit against Junior and Senior for fraud, which is fun. And it's filed against the Harrison Collection, which I'm like, oh, great, y'all named this thing. That he basically didn't fulfill his obligations from way back in May 2023, where he said he would hand out autographs and game use stuff, and Fanatics paid for that, and they did get one payment. It was like over $1 million deal, but nothing was actually given. So the two are just whatever. It's the term sheets were signed, and they're finding out that Dad signed it. That's what it looks like. Sounds like Dad, Senior, signed it and not Junior. So this whole ordeal, and it's now, fall over into the NFL side where Marvin Harrison Jr., who does not have an agent, he is technically self-represented. It's his dad that's representing him. So they've done that all through where he was picked 4th overall by Arizona, through the rookie contract. It was the two of them, but he hasn't even signed the NFLPA group licensing agreement. So no jersey sales. He's not on the Madden game, which I know I need to throw that in there because depending on who you are, that affects multiple different people. And it just, I don't know. This seems like there's two things that I want to ask you guys about this whole thing. Because first of all, this seems like super red flags here. Like not even played a snap, and this is the behavior already. And maybe I'm crazy to think that of like what's next. I mean, because he didn't go to any of the media events during the combine. He's skipping out on media events left and right. Like he just doesn't want to talk to the media. He just wants to do his thing, and it march to the beat of his own drum. Of course, this would happen to someone whose dad played as well. So I just want to get y'all's read on this. Like, is this just like a couple red flags, or is this like this is going to be a train wreck and buckle up? It's going to be fun to watch. That's the first one. But the second question is Fanatics. You are suing a player, your own person, like the person that you get your profit from. That is who you're suing. They better win this lawsuit, right? Like, what happens if Fanatics loses this lawsuit? Is this going to suddenly become tons of players doing the same thing?
Well, based off of baseball players' reactions to Fanatics uniforms, yeah. All it takes is that one. And then you're really in the hurt locker if you're Fanatics. Not to mention, if he did start his own line, the quality would be better than Fanatics wear. But to answer your first question, it's going to be a train wreck. It just is. I don't know another way to describe this. Like if you're causing controversy here for the most mundane part of your NFL career, like the one thing that everyone just assumes you did because everyone does it. If you're causing controversy there, what's going to happen down the road when you drop a key pass in a playoff game and everyone hates you? How are you going to respond? How are you going to respond when the team is struggling and they need you for leadership? I'm going to look back at this like, well, this is clearly where he's at. I don't know. I would be very concerned if I've got my organization hitched to this wagon and I don't have an exit ramp, because it ain't going to get any better.
Yeah, that's a great point of where he's at and what he's doing. Because yes, I'm with you, Bill. I think this is a train wreck. I don't, and you talk about the, what happens when things aren't going well, because this is an organization who, I know I just threw out a while ago, I think finishes near the bottom. So things aren't going to go well. This Cardinals team isn't going to be making the playoffs this year. There's going to be issues. So when does the finger pointing starting? Because it has already started there before. But Samantha, how about you? Where are you at with these guys? with this whole the Harrison collection? There we go. Is that what we're going to be calling them?
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to side with Fanatics on this one. That's a pretty straightforward breach of contract. If your father is your representation, then he's authorized to act on your behalf. So it doesn't really matter if your father signed it or you signed it. And I also think if having your parent act as your agent is a really, really bad way to go. Always, that is a bad way to go. And this is a good example of why. Because this person does not necessarily, I don't care if he played in the NFL, he's not a lawyer. He's not trained as an agent. This is a terrible idea. So yeah, whatever it is that you didn't do there, you agreed to provide something, you failed to do so. This is a business dispute. It doesn't really have anything to do with what goes on the football field. But yeah, you owe that money. I think I'm with Fanatics on this one. Hopefully they will put that money into developing better baseball uniforms.
Yes.
Because Lord knows they need it. But yeah, as far as the red flag stuff goes, I am completely uninterested in players who behave this way. If I were a front office, especially if I were an NFL owner, I'm not drafting guys like this. It's pretty clear who's going to behave this way and who isn't, because it almost always comes down to the way they handle personal questions and how they handle having to talk to the media, having to be accountable for themselves. So you can kind of tell. We don't see too many people, I think, who are forthright and willing to do the work in college and then suddenly flip when they get to the NFL. So anytime the parents are involved in a way that is not normal and not advisable, that's a red flag to me. Anybody who is refusing to fulfill basic obligations, I don't care what your excuses are. I can't talk to the media. I can't show up to this charitable event. I can't be cordial to fans. I don't want you on my team if you're doing any of those things. It's not worth it to me. I find it hard to believe that you will change the outcome of my franchise with that kind of attitude, because that stuff inevitably always shows up on the field. As you pointed out, Bo, the first time you drop a pass, how are you going to react? I don't believe for a second that won't bleed into the actual game on the field. So you can sit there and say, oh, I don't care if the guy's a jerk as long as he shows up and wins me a Super Bowl. But I find it extraordinarily hard to believe that a person like that will handle adversity well in any situation. So to me, that's a stay away. I'm glad I don't have a team anymore, but I'm glad none of the teams which I take a big interest in drafted him, because this is a problem for sure.
Well, and I'm so glad how you guys reacted, because this is perfect, because that leads into a bonus question here that from all the headaches, Kyler, Kingsbury and Wilkes, Kime, now Marvin Harrison Jr., Sr., Harrison Collection, whatever, are the Arizona Cardinals becoming the NFL version of what we had as the Mets?
Okay, listen, as a Cliff Kingsbury apologist, I'm offended by this question. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not, but I want Cliff separated out. I might want Steve Wilkes separated out of this too. I don't know. I like Steve Wilkes. I don't know that he is a great coach, but I like him and I want him to be a good coach. And I feel that Cliff was given a bad deal. So I will remove them from the situation. And I feel confident that even with that, what I'm left with after that, that I can still say yes to you. That I can still say yes. This is very Mets-like, because, I mean,
well, that's perfect, because there's
I don't want this blamed on Steve Wilkes, but other than that, I'm willing to hear this out, because I'm pretty sure I still agree with it. So,
well, and it's just like our Mets conversation. There's players in there like, can we rescue him first, and then have this
Yeah.
conversation because
Yeah, they do have a few people who I would like to see like bailed out and put into a lifeboat. Who I would prefer not to go down with the ship. But,
Bo, you can help me on here too because I went back and forth. I had the Mets and I was going Mets or Angels. Are they the Mets or the Angels?
they seem less aggressively interested in bringing about their own demise than the Angels, but like I don't.
It's true.
There is some evidence to counter that, so I don't know.
I mean, if we're talking just player drama, they're totally the Angels, right? Like
Somewhere Anthony Rendon probably has a self-made Marvin Harrison Jr. shirt.
Oh yeah, no, those two definitely exist in the same orbit. Yes,
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like they really are more Angels than Mets because it's player drama. It's not really bad, horrible decisions by the front office. It's player drama. So
good, then this is perfect. You allow me the
Angels.
opportunity to call Kyler a bum.
I mean, I feel like what you did now is just insult Mike Trout again because you have now called Mike Trout a bum and compared him to Kyler Murray. I'm mad about this. I used to really like Kyler. I spent a long time apologizing for Kyler, and he's done dirty on that. Like, I defended him way too long, and look what he's done to me. Poor me and Cliff have been personally victimized by Kyler Murray. I'm upset.
Yeah, well, the same thing can happen with the Harrisons. I'm sure there's people no, he's going to be great, and eventually it's going to be the same thing of wow.
Yeah,
jeez, it's bad. So, all right, well let's step away from football and move over to baseball. Just as bad, because technically I have to talk about those Astros real quick because it is going to be their division. They are going to win the AL West. It's going to happen. It looks like probably it's the 3 seed because of the struggles they had early on. But yeah, they're going to take care of it. I mean, Seattle's closer to Texas now than they are Houston. It's not going to happen. So Houston's going to be in the playoffs once again. So we have to go through this yet once again. Now, as that 3 seed, let's just run with that right now. With the 1-2 get the bye, the Astros at the 3 seed, so they will get to have to play someone in that first round in that 3-game series. Okay, well, as the wild card stands right now, Baltimore is ahead of New York, so New York would be that wild card 1, so not something there. But the 2-3, that 3 who would have to play Houston, who do you guys trust the most here? Because right now the position falls on Kansas City. Minnesota is 1 game ahead. They're sitting, as we're recording right now. Minnesota is sitting in that wild card 2, so that 3 is Kansas City. Detroit, Boston, 4.5 back. That's looking like this is not going to happen. I get back into that conversation because of the way Minnesota and Kansas City are playing, but I'm fine listening to one of those two as well. Seattle technically is only 5.5 back, but they can't beat the A, so it's not going to happen. So who is it for you guys? Who do you trust more to dispatch to the Astros in the first round?
Can I say none of the above?
Because
I mean, honestly, I really just don't. I mean, maybe the Royals, if they heat up at the right time, because they're kind of that upstart young team that are going to go in there and not notice that they're facing a far superior baseball team. They're just cocky enough to get it done. So maybe Kansas City, certainly not Minnesota, absolutely not. Minnesota's got to actually advance in the playoffs for me to ever trust them with anything. So, no. Of the options, Kansas City, yeah, sure. I'd rather it be Boston. Or maybe even, Detroit has the pitching to shut them down.
Well, and that's an interesting one there, Detroit. Yeah, obviously Minnesota, you can be the 2, go play the loser of New York, Baltimore. Kansas City, maybe we can finally find a use for Tommy Pham. Maybe he gets a little bit of, hey, come on, do something. Do it. Come on, do your thing, whatever your thing, get taken care of. Detroit's interesting. That's one, because of the pitching staff, you get Houston where their offense does sputter a little bit. That one could have, I'm with you there on Detroit. Samantha, how about you?
I actually think Kansas City would be my last choice because they just played Houston over the weekend and they got like destroyed by them.
It's true.
So they would be my last choice, followed very closely by the Twins, which is unfortunate because those are the two most likely candidates. And because, like, why would I pick the Twins for anything in a postseason series? It's ridiculous. So I hope it's Boston. I mean, if you're talking about somebody who knows how to win in the postseason, I think the argument for Detroit is fair because they might have the pitching. Maybe, I mean, the problem with Detroit is it's more like they have a pitcher, and then the rest of the pitching is okay. The offense is not there, which is kind of why I don't think they're going to be able to catch up. I don't really believe that's going to happen. I think your options are probably, unfortunately, Minnesota and Kansas City. And I don't like either one, so I'm hoping Boston kind of hangs in, sneaks in there, because otherwise, I mean, yeah, I have no faith in either one of those teams in even the ability to take a single game and stretch out the series. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's the problem with that Detroit one is I absolutely would have to win the Scooble, and then it's okay.
Right.
I've got to figure out a way to win another one.
Yeah. Yep.
Boston would be interesting because of the offense. You could see that slugging.
Yeah. You might get lucky. You might out-hit them. Yeah.
But no, Kansas City, I'm just saying, unless we can use Tommy Pham for good and Bobby Witt goes 5 for 5 in every game. So, cool. All right, well, that was it. It was really just that quick of a thing there of where we're at, and because it is going to happen. So, Minnesota, Kansas City, Detroit, Boston, y'all figure it out because, well, no one in the West is figuring it out. So, y'all figure it out. But, all right, so last thing, going back to the football, but let's go college. Happy. We opened up college the first, start to the season. Everybody's real happy about football, except for your Florida State fans. But this one, which we've done before many a time, the mascots. We talk mascots all the time, but this one I want to do a little different and kind of give you guys the live mascots, live animal mascots. Sorry, I'm not doing the guy with the colonial gun out in West Virginia. We're not doing that. I'm looking at actual live animal mascots, and how I did this. Just give you, it's like a top 10. It's done kind of by the type of animal and what's out there. So want to get y'all's feedback as we go through. Feel free as I'm throwing these out there to laugh, to yell at me, whatever you want to do. Call me a bum, whatever is needed. So, and I know there's plenty that I'm not listing. So feel free to comment on the show of the ones that I missed and that you think should be on this list. But we'll start right away with number 10, the Razorback. Tusk is his name out there in Arkansas. The reason why he's at number 10, Tusk is actually a Russian boar. He's not even a North American Razorback. So
that was my first question. I was like, there's no way that is a feral hog. Okay.
No, it is not. It is not a Razorback. It is a Russian boar. So because of that,
so it's a fraud.
It's a fraud.
He's a fraud. That's a shame. That's too bad. I do like the spiky pig. I wish they used real one.
Exactly.
What a shame. So, very disappointing.
Yeah. Number 9, we're going to go with the bear. And the one that we have out there is out there at Baylor. Judge Susie Lady Sloan, he said name. Doesn't actually attend games. And I'm sorry, I'm struggling with the name. I know that the university is named after Judge H.E.B. Baylor. So you have Judge in there, but I'm Judge Sue Lady Sloan. It's like you try to pick names, and these were the top 4, and you're like, just put them all together. Sorry, I can't. And it's also not at any games. Which
I'm sorry. Why do they have a live bear in captivity? That's mean. 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. Even below the fraud.
I do not approve. No, the fraud pig is fine because at least the fraud pig is not having a bad life. There's no way that bear has a good life. I do not approve of this at all.
Boom. All right, 8. I'm going to go with the cats out there. So we've got Leo the lion out at northern Alabama. And then we also have Mike, the Bengal tiger at LSU, which, again, both animals don't attend games. Probably a good thing for safety. They are on campus. Both live a funded life. Leo who actually was Leo and Una until a couple years ago when his twin sister Una passed away, is fully funded by alumni and taken care of by volunteers. But Mike the Bengal Tiger is one of the most impressive ones out there. But still not at actual games, so that's why you're in 8th.
I hope he eats someone. It is cruel to keep a tiger in captivity that way. And it is cruel to keep a lion in captivity that way. That is not okay. That is not like keeping a dog or a boar or a cow or whatever. No, it's mean. I hate it. I hope it eats someone. That tiger's miserable.
Mike
Horrible.
miserable.
Absolutely horrible. I hope he eats someone.
Well, the way Brian Kelly's been going right now, we know what they'd be feeding him. But okay, 7th
to feed the tiger, Brian Kelly.
Wouldn't put it past the fans. But 7th on there, I'm going to go with the horse. The 3 out here, we've got Traveler, who's out there at USC, Boomer and Sooner at Oklahoma, and Renegade for Florida State, although not so much lately. At least, okay, so the good thing here, we finally get some animals that show up to games. Traveler did realize that tradition of the horse being at USC games dates back to 1961. And Boomer and Sooner, at least they are working. Those horses do run out onto the field. Granted, they did roll that wagon a few years ago. No one was hurt, especially the horses. Well, maybe a couple of the idiot kids on there were hurt, but no one was badly hurt. So I've got the horse at 7.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with the horse. Like the horse, it's not like a tiger. It's not mean to keep a horse. It is very mean to keep a tiger. Sorry, this is not okay. Horses are fine. Horses are meant to live in companionship with humans, even though they were clearly mad at someone when they tipped over that wagon. So I understand that.
How would you feel if you were spending your entire life as the horse for Oklahoma? I'd be mad too.
Maybe he just wants to be. Maybe the horse wants to go into the transfer portal.
See, that's what should happen.
No, then you end up like Renegade. You're like at a Florida State. Like, yeah, I don't know if I want to be here.
That's potentially another segment. I'm going to pin that into the rundown.
There you go. All right, so number 6, we're going to go with our birds. So we'll start out Air Force has got Nova, the Falcon. Interesting thing, a lot of times when we see these names that we go through, they keep the name. Bevo 15, Ralphie, all these different ones like we've had, Boomers, Mike 4, like they keep the name. Air Force doesn't do that. Nova is a new name, like the one they had before was called Aurora. So they changed the name, or they go with what the bird name is. So that is a little different. Auburn, the Auburn Tigers have a war eagle that flies into the stadium. I'm not hating on it.
It's better than a live tiger.
This is true. True. So they've got war eagles.
Samantha's triggered.
And then
no, this is like really a cruel thing to do. I'm like absolutely not okay with this. That is horrible.
So you like that better, that they've gone with the war eagle. They've got an eagle instead of a tiger. Okay, that makes sense. Well, then you'll love this one. The last one on there, South Carolina, the Gamecocks. They've got a rooster. His name, Sir Big Spur.
That's the greatest name.
The thing that's even funnier is a few years ago they tried to change that name, and the university couldn't agree on it. And the 2 names they were trying to change it to, well, one, it was the General. All right. The other was Cock Commander. And I'm like, wow, really, guys? Really?
But Sir Big Spur is better than either of those.
Yeah, I agree.
It still has a vague feeling of innuendo, but it is more clever, and it also allows the university plausible deniability. Like, we don't know what you're talking about. We didn't mean it in the dirty way. And you can be like, wink, wink. Oh, yeah, we did. Sir Big Spur. That's amazing. 10 out of 10. No notes.
That's a good one.
Good
job, South Carolina.
I wonder how they control that rooster. But, roosters notoriously not interested in being controlled. But, who knows? Maybe he likes his name too. I would, if I were him.
That might be it. Maybe he was the one that demanded, y'all stop calling me the General. I need a better name. Okay, I'll go with Sir Big Spur. You got it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we get to our top 5. 5th animal, the ram. Out in Colorado State, we've got Cam, and then in North Carolina, we've got Ramesey with those painted powder blue horns. Fantastic.
He has powder blue horns. That's funny. I wonder if do you think that bothers him? Do you think it is embarrassing? Like, I know this doesn't hurt him. I just wonder, do you think he knows? Do you think it's like some dogs, when you put clothing on them, the dog is like, looks embarrassed? Do you think that bothers him? Or do you think he's just like, yeah, whatever, I'm cool?
As long as they keep mirrors away, because the way the horns are, it's all behind him. So he probably doesn't see. So as long as you keep a mirror away from him, he doesn't. Until one day, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go to try to take a drink out of a lake or whatever, and he's going to see his reflection, and it's going to be like, oh my God, what did you do to me? Why am I blue? Or maybe he'll love it. I don't know. Who can say, really, how he would react to this? I just want to know who's in charge of the horn painting. Do they have to do touch-ups? You know?
There you go.
Like, do you have to check in before photo ops and be like, oh, you got a little chip over here. So, like, getting your nails done, you know? I don't know how that would work.
This is good. Good stuff. Good stuff. I want to know more about Ramesey there. So, yeah. But CAM, I love that one. It actually stands for Colorado School of Agricultural and Mines, which originally was, even though it is Cam the Ram. I'm like, good job. So, 4. Let's go to 4. This one, I've got the dogs here at 4. Some of the ones we know, Dubs, the Alaskan Malamute out in Washington. Ugga, everyone knows Ugga, the English Bulldog for Georgia. Ugga's been around since 1956. Then there is Smokey, the Blue Tick Coonhound for Tennessee. Handsome Dan, the Bulldog for Yale. And then the Border Collie for A&M, Reveille, which Reveille is officially listed as the First Lady of Aggieland. Mm-hmm. And is the highest ranking member of the Corps of Cadets.
True story.
Just going to leave that right there.
True story. You know, one of my favorite things about Reveille, because every year what the member of the Corps of Cadets has is her handler and has to take her to class. If she barks, class is immediately dismissed. The professor has no choice.
Oh, that's so cute.
Like if she barks. So naturally, people try to get her to bark, especially during like midterms and tests, right? But like, yeah, no, if she barks while in that classroom, class is immediately dismissed.
That's really cute. I like that. But yeah, no, I love the dogs. The dogs are really the best ones for this, right? Because the dogs enjoy the job. Like they are careful about the way they select these, and this is a good job for a dog. They like the attention. It's fun for them. They can handle it. It makes perfect sense to do the dogs. So I love these. And I'm especially fond of the Bulldogs. Obviously, Handsome Dan, I have to say. Handsome Dan, of course, because he's Yale. But also Uga. I love Uga. Actually, we have pictures of me when I was 3 in a Georgia Bulldog shirt because I liked Bulldog. And Uga, what are they on Uga? He's like 12 now. I think it's the 12th Uga.
12,
now.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, I believe it's the 12 right now. So anyway, big fan of the dog mascots, any dog mascot, but especially the Bulldogs.
All right, there we go. All right, so let's get up to our top 3. Number 3, going with the cattle, Mr. Bevo, for the University of Texas. Bevo,
going with the cattle.
Partially, yeah, I know that you could say a little favoritism why I have him ahead of the dogs, but it really is that Bevo nearly tried to squash Uga a few years ago. To put it here, but Bevo. If you ever get a chance, it is a wonderful. There's actually a couple different articles and a documentary on the life that Bevo lives out on the way. Bevo lives a better life than all of us. The pamperedness, open range, food selection that this Longhorn gets. Yeah, I'm jealous whenever I watch it.
Oh yeah, no,
Bevo
is not like the tiger. Bevo is living the best life that a cow can have. Bevo's in a good place. I'm very happy for Bevo. In fact, I think that other cows would be jealous of Bevo if they knew about this, because that's like cow paradise, right? Like, isn't this like peak cow where he lives? I suspect most of those dogs are also living like peak dog. And that rooster is probably living peak rooster, whatever that means exactly for a rooster. Who can say? But yeah, I mean, Bevo, man. I mean, like, okay, I have a question. This is just like the ignorance of like Northerners who don't understand things like cattle. But like the bighorn, is Bevo a girl or a boy?
I'm letting
No one knows. Is it a girl? Does no one know?
Yes, it is. It is female.
It's a girl?
Yeah.
Then why does it have those horns?
It's the if I believe right, that is the type of.
Wait, is this a controversial question or something?
Yeah, no, all right. I'm not actually sure.
Okay. All right. Bevo is actually male.
Bevo is male. Okay.
Bevo is
always male, or is it?
Bevo is a steer, which means it's something was cut off. But is a boy. But Samantha, to answer your question, both male and female longhorns have horns.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Because Bevo, where Bevo lives, has a twin sister, Sugar. Okay. And it's okay. I'm not that crazy. So, is it always been male though? All the Bevos have been male.
That I don't know.
Well, what's his sister? Is she like a stunt double, or is she just there so he has a friend?
I think it's just that's probably negotiated. Yeah, my sister comes to the ranch too.
Well, I mean, I hope so. I like the idea. I'm glad he has a friend. I mean, isn't that part of living your best cow life? I'm like, they talk about cows. This is why I had to stop eating steak, because they talk about how cows make friends and they have like a best friend, and then I never eat steak again because I couldn't stop thinking about it. So maybe he just was like, listen, I'm not going without my sister. And so they brought his
okay.
Peak cow.
Okay, so here's some clarity. Yes. Okay, first of all, AI called it the Texas A&M University mascot, so that's obviously not correct.
See, people are worried about AI. Like,
yeah, no. So they are always steers because an actual bull who still has certain things would be too dangerous in a stadium setting, so they're always steers.
But why can't it be a girl cow?
It's just not how it's done. I don't know the reasoning.
No.
Do they not have the fancy horns? Which was my original question. Do the girl cows have the fancy horns?
Yes.
So then I don't see why then it can't be a girl cow. I don't see why Sugar can't have the job instead of Bevo.
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. I honestly assumed that it was both.
I just thought it was the girl cow because like bulls are aggressive. So
until there's been some snipping.
Until there's some snipping, yeah. Once
does that unaggressives them? Okay,
yes.
That's very interesting. I did not know this. I don't know a lot about livestock. Okay.
So yes, once they're snipped, they're not as aggressive, so they're safer for stadiums. Although, as Uga found out a couple years ago, it's not fail proof.
Wait, why do you guys call him Uga? Is it Uga? I thought it was Uga.
Uga.
Uga?
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. That sounds terrible. Why?
Uga does sound better.
Uga sounds better. It sounds like a name. Uga.
Have you seen their fan base?
That's a fair point. I'm going to call him Uga. But it's good to know what certain people say. Anyway. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Where are we at? We at 2 on your list now, Irby?
2, yeah. All right. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So number 2, I'm going with the GOAT. Literally and figuratively here. The GOAT out at Navy. Bill the GOAT. Longest running live mascot tradition. The Navy midshipmen started this tradition back in 1893 with El Cid. And then that moved to Bill in 1904, and we are on Bill number 36. Bill the goat, literally the goat.
So this was happening like right around when the whole goat incident happened at Wrigley.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
If only the Cubs had followed the Navy lead, maybe they would have won a World Series that entire century.
True.
This is true. This is true. Should have got
Also,
retired Bill the goat.
Yeah. Also, goats are great. Goat is another good choice for something like this. Like, you know, fairly affable, especially if you get like a female goat, agreeable, happy to hang around, meet the folks, you know, friendly sorts. They'll eat anything. It's kind of hilarious. So, yeah, I approve.
Well, and that's where it works perfectly. That's exactly what it was for. When ships were crossing oceans, they would bring goats along basically to eat the garbage and eat all the things that would become diseased and rot. So, good job, Navy.
Yeah, well done. I like it.
So, and then last, definitely not least, number one, I think we all know where we're going right here. Ralphie the buffalo.
Yeah.
Only animal that is in full blown, that is the awesomest, scariest thing out there of Ralphie running out on the field like that. And this one I do know, oddly enough, but Ralphie is always female.
Did you say he's always female? She's always female?
Yes, she.
Okay.
She
so the boy buffalo. I don't know.
She is always female.
I don't know. I love buffaloes. I'm the 100% the idiot that would try to pet the buffalo at a national park. 100% that's me. Absolutely would do it. Totally convinced that every animal is my friend. 100% also the person who would pet the lion. I would not touch the tiger because it has been mistreated by other humans. Also, like, I'm not a complete idiot. I know tigers want to murder me. Like, they want to murder everyone. But, like, I would touch that buffalo. Like, 100%. Fully.
Would you run with the buffalo before a game?
Sure.
I want to.
Does the buffalo enjoy that?
Yeah, well, that's what it does. Is it runs out on the field or home games, all the way down the field and back. And I would love to believe that I could be one of the 8 handlers that are running with this buffalo on a football field.
Oh, I would totally do that. That sounds like a really fun job because I bet you do get to pet it afterwards. Yeah, I would do that.
I would love to believe that I could handle it. I would probably want to be one of the ones in the back just so that, like, because they sprint. I mean, they do a good 80 yards down and turn around and run back 80 yards. Like, feel like at about 150 yards, be like, all right, y'all got it. I can't. I'm out.
Well, I mean, what is the function? If you're counting on me to stop that thing, I mean, you've seen me. There's no way I'm stopping that thing, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to stop it from doing anything that it wants. But if it just needs someone to kind of guide it, keep up with it, I would like to I would take my chances. Sure, let's see if I can keep up with you. Yeah, I think I could hang with the buffalo.
Would you run with Ralphie?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Ralphie is a good name also. I approve of that.
Between baseball and college football, Colorado, you're doing good on your mascots.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Ralphie. That's nice. I like that. I hope Ralphie enjoys his job. Her job. Her job? Yeah, her job.
Her job, yeah.
Confusing. I guess it's Ralphie like IE. Like my dog is Bobby
yes,
Bonilla with an IE. Oh,
yes,
okay. Well, that's nice. I like that. That's cute.
RALPHIE. Yep, there you go. But yeah, yes, anyone, if you've got others, I know there's other animal ones out there, live mascots. I didn't include any snakes because who's brings a snake to a game? But yeah.
Oklahoma.
Someone at some point has brought a snake to a game. Definitely. Yeah, like the unintentional mascots, like the press box possum and things like that. But yeah, no, I love these. I don't like anything that shouldn't be in captivity, and I don't like anything that is clearly too skittish, to be out there in that situation. But mostly they've done a good job, like the birds, the horses, the cow, the dogs. These are like the correct kinds of things, the Russian boar or whatever it is. Like you get the right kind of pig, they'd be into that job, or at the very least be indifferent. So, it probably needs to be mostly like domestic animals for this, but but I'm into it. I can't think of any other ones other than just like other breeds of dog, that I know of. So I think you did a good job. I think you kind of got all of them.
Yep. I agree. All right. Anything you want to close with there, Irby, before we move on to a little bit more NFL?
A little bit more NFL. Yeah, no, live mascots at NFL games. Maybe
Dogs. There are dogs.
Probably.
There are dogs. The Browns had one.
Okay, good. We don't need any birds flying around at Cardinals games. I'm sure Marvin Harrison would not. No, I'm not going to go down that road. No.
You're going to get James Paxton. Just going to land on somebody. They're going to freak out. Do you think Marvin Harrison would quit if the Eagle landed on him like it did with James Paxton? Would he sue
He would
Fanatics?
probably ask it for money.
Would he sue it? What if they put a jersey on it and it landed on him and it serves him papers? Sorry. It's really funny in my head. When I see it in my head, it's really funny. Sorry. Carry on.
I have one question for you guys for the NFL. When does Drake May start? When does he take over anyway? Because I can't imagine Brissett making the entire season as the starter. I can't imagine it. This team is going to be bad. They're going to be, especially towards the second half, they're going to be looking for things they can do for next year. So when is it going to be? When do they pull the trigger and Drake May is your starter?
It's hard for me to believe that Jacoby Brissett won't get hurt. Which I don't want. I love Jacoby Brissett. He's a great guy, and I feel bad that he kind of always ends up with this job. But like, I find it a little bit hard to believe that he would actually be healthy the whole way through. I mean, they're going to be bad, so I guess it just depends what you want. Do you want the opportunity to, we've talked about this on this show before. It's been a long time since we've done it, but we talked about, like, what is the difference between saying, hey, this is a lost season, let's throw the guy out there and get him some experience, and throwing a guy out there in a situation that can't possibly succeed and ruining his future chances because you've damaged him beyond repair by putting him in that situation. So I don't know that I think the Patriots are that bad, but they're not good, right? So, like, I don't know, where are we at on that? Like, where's the line? Because I don't know if I want to send him out there at all with things being what they are with the Patriots right now. I don't know if I want to do that.
And if that's what the Patriots are doing, I fully get that, right? Like, you don't want to put him out there and get him killed. I get it. I understand that. I get that. If that is their concern, okay, you're going to build the line around him and then go. But if it was because you're trying to say that he's maybe not quite ready, I don't know what else you need to say, because he was.
Oh God! Well, no, I'm not buying that.
Yeah. No. So it almost has to be that they're afraid he would get killed behind that line, which is valid. That is a fair assessment in New England. So I mean, and if that's what it is, then it's going to be until Jacoby Brissett gets hurt. Which will probably be
which point he will get killed behind that line anyway. But at least we can say we tried, right? Like they're magically going to get a new line when Brissett gets hurt. Geez, poor Drake May. This looks bleak, man. Looks bleak.
Yeah. Irby, how about you? Where you at on this?
Yeah, they still got David Andrews there, so maybe they just need to be doing under center and just snap and then hide. But if Jacoby Brissett can stay healthy, I think this is a redshirt year for Drake May. That's nothing against his talent or anything. It's just because of where New England is at. I think you're running with Brissett. I'm the same, Samantha. Like you said, Jacoby Brissett is a borderline NFL starting quarterback, and here he is as a starter. It just sucks that once again you're in a place like New England. So I think he's going to do just fine for them, and it is what you have. Drake, there's nothing wrong with having that redshirt year, that year with the clipboard, that year with the headset. I think it's going to do well because New England, this is not a quick fix. This isn't going to get turned around next year. So there's no point in running him out there. And I mean, ruining him, basically. Like, that's exactly what happened. I could spend the next hour telling you how many quarterbacks, first round picks, that ran out there too fast, and that we don't even know their names anymore because they just don't exist anymore because they got ruined.
Yep. Well, maybe. Actually, probably there might be some blowouts where we see Drake May anyway. You never know. All right, let's flip it over at college. So, watching college football this weekend because everyone's excited that college football is back, and this is probably the first year that I'm more into college than I am the NFL. I'm a very disillusioned NFL fan right now, so I'm more into college. But as always, outside of Notre Dame A&M, which was the barn burner of the weekend. I'm dripping that sarcasm. Hope you guys are picking that up. Outside of that, it was the usual.
I did. I too saw Notre Dame in all of their defensive glory for being kind.
But I noticed it was the usual FCS teams, which is the division below your powerhouse teams, the FCS, going to FBS, which okay, fine. They always host, right? They never have to get on the bus and go to the lesser school the first week of the season. When they play each other the first handful of weeks of the season. No, they host them all. Why don't we send an FBS team to an FCS school? Why don't we do that? I think it'd be fun. What do you think, Samantha? Should we keep allowing the FBS teams to just control everything, or should they be required to go once a year? If they're going to have an FCS school in their schedule, they should have to go there at least once a year, or once every other year.
Okay, maybe that's how you cut down on this, like, paying your opponent's business so that you can beat up on them. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, you can do that, but you have to go there. I mean, that would be very unappealing, I would think, to them, right?
Yeah.
Because, I suppose if you're going to pay someone to play them, you want to at least make some of that back by, getting the gate for it or whatever. But also, I don't know, is this your chance to see how the other half lives? Is it slum tourism in the 1800s? How people from uptown in New York would go down into the tenements, and they would ride their carriage through there at night and be like, look, a prostitute, look, beggar children. And it was slum tourism. So is it like that? Could you consider it character building, or at least a lark or whatever, if you had to go to the place where the facilities were not as nice, where you had to stay in a roadside hotel that was 2 exits up the freeway because they couldn't accommodate you? I mean, how would this work? What if they had to eat all of their meals at McDonald's?
Yeah.
Maybe they eat all of their meals at McDonald's anyway. I don't know. Who can say? But I don't know. I wonder if the slum tourism aspect of this would be appealing on some level, or if it would just cut down on the amount of FCS, we're going to play this school of kids that all have one leg in order to boost our ranking by beating the crap out of someone for the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Call it punitive. I'll call it punitive. It's fine. If you want to put an FCS school on your schedule so you can have a cupcake game, fine. You're going to go there. You're going to go to the FCS school. You're not going to host it, right? That's what it should be. Because
what's going to happen is all of the worst FBS schools are going to get so popular. How popular the MAC is going to be?
Yeah.
If we did that. Because everybody's going to be well, at least we can play Bowling Green. It's FBS. We don't have to go there.
That's fine, too. You know what? Because there's so many FBS schools that fit the mold. Unless you're Florida State. You got to be careful with the FBS schools you pick. But everybody else, there's plenty of FBS schools that you could easily take. Right? You don't have to dip into FCS. I don't even know why we're doing this. I really don't get it. But, it is something that we've done for so long now. It feels like every year, and there is, of course, you have Appalachian State, which is, if you put them on your schedule, that's just pure suicide. Don't do that. But outside of that, there's never really much of a chance. these FCS schools to come in.
I
So
don't think Appalachian State is FCS.
are they FBS?
I'm pretty sure they are.
Oh,
They're pretty big.
you're probably right. But they feel FCS anyway. Regardless, Irby, where are you at on this? Like, can we put some stuff in that's going to stop this FCS carnage to FBS teams?
I want to say yes to you, but I can't. Like, no.
Wow.
This would be horrible. This would be horrible. Can you imagine Alabama, with their entire entourage traveling to Western Carolina?
Yes.
Like, no, they would overtake the town. It would be horrible.
But think about
Oklahoma,
all
their crowd
Funny,
would
because you wouldn't be
all-
there having to deal with it, so it would be funny.
it would be
Yes,
funny. And
this is true.
think about all the tourism dollars that small town's going to bring in that one Saturday.
There's not enough hotels to even have the team.
But the local McDonald's is going to clean up.
Yes.
This is true. Yeah.
That's Alabama's problem.
Well, that I guess that's true. Like if Furman is hosting Ole Miss, they would just could you put in like a pop shop, open up Waffle House, just to have a couple of them. Just here we go, just leave it open.
Be a Waffle House
Leave 'em that
truck.
way. Yeah, Waffle House truck. There you go. That would work. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand, and when we see it in other sports too, but they can play a lot more often. But yeah, this would be a good train wreck. That would be a good train wreck.
It would be quite funny.
It would, especially the first time that the upset happened too. Such and such team is storming the field, all 30 fans. Sorry, I probably have more than 30.
All right. Samantha, anything else you want to add on this one?
I do not. Do you what? Oh, wait, no. I do want to add something. Okay, so if you are Colorado, whatever they are, do you take your buffalo with you to the FCS school?
I guess.
Buffalo.
What do they take the Buffalo on the road now?
No, I don't. Any of the big like Bevo doesn't go on the road. Ralphie doesn't go on the road. Most don't take it on the road.
Yeah, see, I think that's your answer. You wouldn't, yeah, because like if you already go on the road, then it would stand to reason that the protocols you have in place would just carry over to an FCS site, right? So, but they're not. So I don't see how they would. It would be quite
I'm sorry
hilarious.
I asked this. I'm disappointed. Wish I didn't know that.
All right. Irby, how about you? Anything you want to add here?
I want this to happen. Like, it would be great to see Appalachian State host one of these guys, but I know they're not there, but they used to be. But yeah, some of these would work. Like, I guess you could test it with like Southern Utah hosting Utah. We'll just test it out there. Did it work? No. Okay. Rest of us walk away.
That seems like a really poor testing location.
What could go wrong? It's Utah.
Exactly. What's the fun in that? We're supposed to be having fun while we're being punitive.
Oh, you're terrible.
All right. Okay. Let's.
Offended our one listener in Utah.
I'm surprised it took this long.
They're probably a BYU fan, anyways.
True.
Fair enough. All right. One more before we go. We got to talk. I think Samantha. We got to talk AL Cy Young race because this is interesting. You've got, of course, you got Tariq Skubal. How do you say his last name? Skubal. Skubal. Okay. You got Tariq Skubal, who's had an outstanding year in Detroit. If they just had a little bit of offense, they'd be much more relevant in this postseason race, and we wouldn't even be having this discussion. He's been outstanding. But you also have Emmanuel Clase with the Guardians, who's been closing all year long, lights out cold. So we actually have a conversation this year of, do you give it to the starter? Do you give it to the closer? And I understand that Scoobles had a hell of a year, but I would be hard pressed to vote against Emmanuel Clase here for the Cy Young.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple good arguments for Class A. One relevant and one not. The one that's not relevant is like, if Cy Young worked like MVP, you would definitely give this to Class A because he's clearly more valuable. You almost have to be on at least a somewhat competitive team to be in that situation. So he has done more for his team's success than Tariq Skubal has. So if it worked like MVP, which it does not, so kind of not relevant, but I thought I'd throw that out there. But I do think also there is something to be said for, like, how dominant are you at what you do? And I would argue that Clase has been more dominant at what he does than Skubal has been at what he does. It's kind of not a fair comparison because he only has to be dominant for one inning, occasionally too. And in order to be a starter who wins this is why we typically give it to a starter, right? Because it's a harder job. You got to be really good for at least 6 innings when you get out there. So I think when's the last closer win? One was Eric Gagne, I think. So it's been a long time. And usually the reason a closer wins is because there isn't a starter who deserves it, not because the closer is so very good. So that's where I kind of run into trouble with this, is that, like, I don't think it's really possible for Class A to win it because usually a closer winning this is about the absence of talent at starter rather than a closer being so good that it pushes all the good starters out of the way. I mean, baseball's a narrative sport. It's a narrative award, not quite in the same way that MVP is, but, you got to be part of the story. And in some ways, there's a far, far greater case for Emmanuel Clase in that way because he is part of a very successful narrative for a Cleveland Guardians team that is going to the playoffs, and the Detroit team is probably not. But at the same time, realistically speaking, I know where my vote would go. I don't expect that's where the bulk of the votes would go for this.
Irby, how about you? Where are you at on this?
Class A, no question. Nothing against Skubal at all. But I'm also the one. I agree. I think Skubal will end up winning this thing. I disagree with that because we live in a world where the entire MVP. I mean, and I'm bringing in the Heisman here too. Like, it has become this thing of, okay, well, we give it to the starting pitcher or the quarterback, unless there's one that didn't really stand out, then we'll just find something else. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I can't stand it. I understand the starting pitcher and what the position does and everything, and you were out there every fifth game having to go longer, and it is harder. I hear that, and I reject it because a closer. How many times have we seen closers that look so dominant, and then all of a sudden, what happened? And this happens year to year. This happens within a year. We have seen, each of us have had those pitchers on our teams where you look at the first month of the season going, oh, yeah, we got our closer. And then 3 months later, you're going, who is this? Can we DFNA him? Like, I'm tired of this. Bring in Emmanuel Clase here. Yes, I understand that the ERA isn't 0. It's 0.7. What is it? 5? Is it 5 earned runs? That's all he's given up all season? 5 earned runs. 5. Whole freaking season. 5 runs. Like, no. It is. He comes in and gets the job done. I again, not taking anything away from Skubal or any of the other starting pitchers here, but since it really is these two, for me, this is Class A. It's not even a conversation for me. The man comes in and gets the job done quite literally every single night. And Samantha, does he have a blown save?
He does. Although I believe they did come back and win the game in which that happened.
So and there's have the Guardians lost a game that he has pitched in?
Yes, although they were already losing it when he came in. He just needed work. Okay. Does that count?
No, but that's the thing. So we're talking 1, maybe 2 games of the 60.
I don't think you can count the ones where he came into a losing effort.
Right, and no, and you shouldn't. Yeah, so we can reduce it. So it's quite almost literally here. When he pitches, you win. You can't say that about anyone else in the entire league.
You know,
Get the job done right.
You've also introduced another element here by bringing up this idea of closers not being who they appear to be. And my new question is, like, am I owed a Cy Young for Emmanuel Clase essentially as damages for Jose Mesa? Am I owed this?
Yeah.
Compensation for pain and suffering? I feel like I'm owed this now. I feel like you've introduced that and now I can't let go of it. So
yeah.
Give me my Cy Young. I deserve it. By me, I mean La Cabra. On behalf of me.
Well, I mean, what are we talking? We're talking about the Cy Young, right? Best pitcher of the year in the American League. It's not most valuable. It's not the guy that pitched the most innings and gave up the fewest runs. It is overall best pitcher. It can be a closer. I'm not one of those that says it can't be a closer because I think Clase should win this. And
doesn't like the literal unhittableness matter to you? I mean,
yes.
I don't know. It's not really a factor, but it matters to me. Does that matter to you too?
Yes, it matters.
I think that's another argument for the closer or for Class A specifically.
Yeah, it matters to me. Absolutely, that matters.
Okay, me too.
You know, because and you know, we talk about those stress pitches.
Mm-hmm.
How many is he thrown compared to Skubal this year?
Way less. He's way less likely to need Tommy John if that's what you're asking.
No, I said nowhere near. I'm not going near that. But it's the truth, though. Like when it comes to, you know, he's got how many innings has he thrown at this point? What is he, like 75, 60,
I have no idea.
70?
It's probably I guess about 70.
Yeah, and
no,
probably
64.1 innings.
So and probably 95% of those were high leverage.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's the argument for Class A right there over Skubal. And again, nothing against Skubal. He's had an outstanding year too, but when you talk about how dominant Class A has been closing games out, this is one of those, like, you give it to the closer because the closer earned it, not because there's not another option. Like, he actually earned it. He's been lights out this year. So, come on.
Look, I love it. I'm not going to argue with you. Like, Guardians Nation is very, like, I was trying to come in here and be all diplomatic about it, and you guys are telling me no. So I'm very happy about this. Say more.
Yeah, no. If I'm voting in this, I'm voting for Class A, and it's really not a tough decision for me.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Lollygagging, who have a grand total of 0 votes in the Cy Young ballot. But if we did, that would be 3 votes for Emmanuel Clase.
Hey, we are heavily endorsing.
Yeah, we're like Hawaii during the election.
Exactly. That's one way of putting it. All right, Irby, anything else besides that you want to add to this conversation?
No, I think I should end there.
Aloha. Okay. All right. Oh boy, it's gonna do it for us. So wherever you're listening to Lollygagging Sports, give us a like, subscribe to the show, help us out with that algorithm so we can get some more lollygaggers in here. Until next week. Yeah, you don't have to watch the NFL. Baseball's still going on. Just so you know. But until next week, watch one of them. It's good for you.